Hi, everybody. It's John Henry. I'm the Director of Youth with a Mission in Ocean City, New Jersey. We have a ministry that helps students to connect with missional organizations where they can make a difference on a missions project in the field of their study in the arts and education and business and journalism and medicine and ministries of all kinds, and including technology. So the aim that we have for Converge is to engage the spheres of influence in obedience to Christ's Great Commission, which is to go make disciples of nations. That means you must engage the sphere of government and education and business and so on. So we have pivoted during this COVID crisis. We have pivoted so that we're putting new opportunities up on the Converge platform for virtual remote internships, if that's something that interests you, especially if you're a host, an organization with a Christian leader that needs interns. You could use an intern even remotely. Then I encourage you to go to ywamconverge.org and sign up under the tab that says Create an Internship. I've been doing 30 days, during this 30-day quarantine, I've been doing 30 thoughts. And today's thought, the thought for today is with. I was going to be leading a book study here in my home during these days with a group of friends. And we'd already been through a couple of different books. The particular book we were going to go through during this time is called With. And it's written by a guy named Skye Jethani. And he looks at postures that we have with God, that we have a posture that people that are religious have a posture over God. They make demands of God. They say, God, if you do this, then I will. They say, God, you did this to me, so I'm not going to do anything for you. That is somebody that considers themselves in posture over God. There are also those who are under God, and those are the ones who are saying whatever God wills, whatever Allah wills. They are not in relationship, rather they are subjugated. They are under his thumb, and they can't make a move without God directing it. And they don't understand that God set us and made us in his image, free to be able to choose. And that's the reason there's evil on the planet. People choose that which God does not want. That's so simple, but there are many that just don't seem to get that. Then there's the other posture, and that is from God. They're always asking for things. So they're like the spoiled, rotten child. The only reason they ever come to pray is to ask for stuff. Ask, 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 and it's not wrong to ask. Jesus encourages us to pray and to ask. But if that's the only posture you have with God, it's something less than what God wants. And I'm going to tell a story that Jesus told in a moment about that. The other posture is for God. That's the missionary. That's the one that says, I'm going to go to the ends of the earth for you, God. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to serve you. I'm going to give. And it's that constant call to do. And that, again, is something less than a relationship with God. You know, that many people say, well, you should be out on the streets witnessing to your neighbors. And yeah, I mean, we do want to be a witness, but the most powerful witness that you can be to your neighbor is to be relaxed with God. And it almost doesn't require words. It's just to know him and to love him and to be comfortable with him, so that when you speak, you're speaking from the context of that comfortable relationship with God. And that witness is undeniable and powerful. Having all the right words, doing all the right things, and being anxious about it is not somebody that is attractive. So don't be that person. Now, the story I want to tell is the story of the lost son. This is from the Message. It's Luke chapter 15. It's the translation called the Message. So it's a more friendly, modern language. It goes like this. Then he said, there was once a man who had two sons. The younger said to his father, Father, I want right now what's coming to me. That's the one that asks. So the father divided the property between them, and it wasn't long before the younger son packed his bags and left for a distant country. There, undisciplined and dissipated, he wasted everything he had, and after he had gone through all his money, there was a bad famine all through the country, and he began to hurt. He signed on with a citizen there who assigned him to his fields to slop the pigs. And he was so hungry, he would have eaten the corncobs in the pig slop, but no one would give him any. That brought him to his senses, and he said to himself, all those farmhands working for my father sit down to 3 meals a day, and here I am starving to death. I'm going back to my father. I'll say to him, Father, I've sinned against God. I've sinned before you. I don't deserve to be called your son. Take me on as a hired hand. And he got up and he went home to his father. And when he was still a long way off, his father saw him, his heart pounding. He ran out, embraced him, kissed him. The son started his speech. Father, I've sinned against God. I've sinned before you. I don't deserve to be called your son ever again. But the father wasn't listening. He was calling to the servants, quick, bring a clean set of clothes and dress him. Put the family ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Then get a grain-fed heifer and roast it. We're going to have a feast. We're going to have a wonderful time. Here, my son is here, given up for dead and now alive, given up for lost and now found. And they began to have a wonderful time. All this time, the older son was out in the field. And when the day's work was done, he came in. And he approached the house. As he approached the house, he heard the music and dancing. Calling over one of the houseboys, he asked what was going on. And he told him, your brother came home. Your father has ordered a feast, barbecued beef, because he has him home safe and sound. The older brother stalked off in an angry sulk and refused to join in. His father came out and tried to talk to him, but he wouldn't listen. The son said, look how many years I've stayed here serving you. That's the for you person. Never giving one more moment of grief. But have you ever thrown a party for me and my friends? Then this son of yours who has thrown away your money on whores shows up and you go all out with a feast? His father said, son, you don't understand. You're with me all the time, and everything that is mine is yours. But this is a wonderful time, and we had to celebrate. This brother of yours was dead, and now he's alive. He was lost, but he's found. This is normally called the story of the prodigal son, right? The word prodigal, I looked it up, it says spending money or resources freely and recklessly. And that's what the younger son did. Wastefully extravagant, right? Another definition is having or giving something on a lavish scale. That sounds more like the father, doesn't it? He's the prodigal father. He is lavish in his generosity. He gives freely to us. So we don't approach him just to get. We enjoy him because he is so generous and loving. God wants us to be with him, to be comfortable in his presence. So thanks for listening to today, this message. And if you want to check out my Thought Captivation blog, it's at johnthenry.com. Remember to wash your hands, don't touch your face, sanitize surfaces and doorknobs, and keep a safe social distance. We'll all get through this coronavirus together. Thanks for listening to this longer message today.